All right, welcome to the MadLab MMA. I'm here with Mike the MadLab Iorado. I am Anthony Bascilio, and we're going to the fucking fight Saturday night at the Apex Center, baby.
Dude, I can't wait.
Dude, I can't wait.
Quick, dude. I feel like we.
Yeah, dude, we're right here. We're leaving tomorrow night to go to Vegas, be there Friday. I was just texting back and forth with Randy Couture, all lined up having dinner with Randy and a bunch of great entrepreneurs. Going to have a camera guy filming the whole thing. Saturday, pre-fight party up in the suite.
Friday
Night is dinner at the Marcos room inside Aria, private room, sick dinner planned. You know, pre-fight party in the suite.
Randy Couture is going to eat with us, hang out.
It's going to be awesome. And then Saturday, pre-fight party, break down the fights, place our wagers, play a little DraftKings lineups, and then we go over to the Apex Center, red carpet rollout. We get our lanyards. We take pictures with the Octagon girls. My wife's going to love that. I know. And then we're sitting right rows
She's
1 and 2.
She's going to go right on the Instagram to see who you're following.
I follow all the ring card girls, Octagon girls, and man, we got front row seats, and this is actually shaped up to be a really good competitive card.
It's not like crazy name value, but bro, there's a lot of good fights.
A lot of finishes, MadLab's predicting here on this card. So it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait. And we're going to be loud, and you're going to hear us if you're watching it on TV.
It's going to be packed down there, dude.
Packed in Vegas. Yeah. You got March Madness, all kinds of conventions.
You got the police convention.
The
anime convention. So you're going to have all those little tick, those Trekkies walking around.
Trekkies. That's going to be great. So you got some news?
Yeah, I want to go over some stuff, guys. So we got a lot of stuff that broke in the last week or so. So first of all, there's a lot of stuff going around Tyson versus Paul. That fight signed. But you're getting
I think it's bad, man.
It's horrible, but we're going to talk about it. And this is honestly why I brought it up. Everyone obviously knows the fight's going to happen. There's no guarantee the fight's going to happen. The rules and stipulations haven't truly come out yet. Like they said, first people said it's going to be an exhibition. They're going to wear headgear. They're going to wear 18-ounce gloves. Then Jake Paul comes out and he says that's absolutely not. Who knows what the stipulations are going to be? But the fact of the matter is this is where the new wave of people come in. And the older guys like us that actually know, back in the day what he was. I was never a Tyson guy. You know that.
Yep.
But I know for a fact that, like, you take Tyson in his prime and you put him in this fight, the commission probably wouldn't even allow it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even allow it.
They would kill him.
They would kill him. So the problem I have with this fight is this. This kid is saying he wants to be a champion, right? He wants to fight Canelo Alvarez. He wants to be a champion. He wants to climb the rankings. What does this do for him? This does nothing. So this just proves to me that this kid doesn't want to be
he hasn't even fought. He fought one boxer and he lost.
And
to him.
He lost to him
to a horrible boxer.
And he wasn't even good.
Yeah.
So everybody just wipe that off the table. This kid's not trying to be a good boxer. He's trying to pick and choose money fights. In boxing, we call it cherry picking. And he's just and good for him.
He's a fucking genius.
He's a genius. Good for him.
Genius.
But the bad thing about this is you're leveraging a guy who's 60 years old. Forget saying, he's 58. No, his body is the body of a 70-year-old, a 75-year-old. He's not the normal 57, 58-year-old guy. Like when me and him go to become 57, 58. This guy at 57, 58 is 77, 78. Mentally and physically. All right, so this is a guy who just 5 years ago fought Roy Jones, looked horrible in that fight.
But by the way, I'm glad you just said that. You know why? I think people don't realize that he fought Roy Jones 5 years ago in a celebrity fight.
Yeah, and it was an exhibition. That was an exhibition.
Most people forgot about that. Like people are thinking that he hasn't fought no, he fought 5 years ago and he looked fucking horrible.
Yeah,
no one's remembering that. I was like, wait a minute, he fought like 5 years ago. He looked horrible.
Yeah, so
what's gonna make him look better 5 years later?
Well, and here's the thing: you got to remember, like people are just looking. Like I get it, the name. Like I've been talking to like some people that like they don't even watch combat sports, and then they text me, I can't wait to watch Mike Tyson fight. And I'm like,
it's so sick.
I'm like, why? It's not the same guy. So first of all, you guys got to remember, and Tyson back in the day, he was wired a different way. This guy was wired to literally, like he used to say, I used to study all the greats. Alexander the Great, Napoleon, like all the greats, he was a killer. This guy is on so much medication for the past 20 years to not be that guy anymore. He's on SSRIs. He's done psychedelic treatment. That's how bad he's been.
He chews on mushrooms every day.
He does psychedelic treatment. He's on more medications than you can imagine. Like, not only does that alter your state, but it alters your response times, your reaction times, everything about it. The guy's not the same guy that he was even 10 years, even 5 years ago. Even 5 years ago when he fought. All right, so the only thing that this does for him is if he wins this fight, you're going to see people say, well, I told you, Tyson. I tell you, if this is what he is, Tyson. But if he loses this fight, what this does is not to guys like you or me, but the newer age of guys, what it does is it makes them say, hey, do you know Mike Tyson? Oh, you mean the guy who lost to Tyson, the guy who lost to the YouTube kid? Like, that's the way his legacy is going to be remembered. He doesn't need money. He's got one of the number one, what are they called?
The vape pens?
Vape pens,
weed pens?
in the country.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a ton. They showed a video of him feeding the pigeons because he back in Brooklyn and where he lived, pigeon coops were huge. He still does that. Dude, he's got a beautiful house. He's got a beautiful pool. He doesn't need the money. So this is just a perfect example of boxers not being able to get out of their own way. Not being able to go out of their own way. Look, it happened to Muhammad Ali, I hate to say, but it happened to him when he fought Larry Holmes. He should have never fought Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes would have never beat him in his prime, but he got used and abused by Larry Holmes, at that time. A lot of boxers that
I don't
happens
think
to.
Tyson even gives a fuck about the legacy. I don't think he even thinks about that. Dude, I was at my buddy's house, and he was doing there's a couple guys I met that I didn't know, and this came up, and this is how, I'm like, dude, Paul's, and like, this guy's like, no way, dude, Tyson's gonna, he did like one of those. He's like, oh, no, Tyson's gonna, I'm like, what are these guys?
But that's the last point I want to make. You guys are watching these reels of him, 30 seconds hitting a bag, bobbing, weaving, throwing, a couple combinations, hitting a heavy bag hard. Mackenzie knows the best out of all of us here that there's editing involved there. Now, anybody can go. I had my father who was actually here. The guy walks with like a hunch now, but I could put him on the heavy bag and I can make him good look great for 30 seconds.
He'll look like Tyson.
Because my father knows how to box. He knows how to box.
Hollywood.
But what happens after that 30 seconds? What happens when punches are coming back at him? What happens if he gets out of the first round and now he's gassing out because of the medication, because he's older, because his body's breaking down, because you see him in airports in wheelchairs and canes? Like, you guys are I'm trying not to curse because I don't want to lose viewers, but you guys are nuts if you think that this is even a plausible fight for a guy 30 years older than this kid who trains every day. He's not a good boxer, but he trains every day. He's active every day. He's healthy. His body isn't broken down. He's never been in a war before. Like, in what world does this fight even make sense? So if I was the commission, I would honestly say, why do you think it's on Netflix, bro?
Genius, dude.
But
the whole world's gonna watch.
Who's gonna pay? Who's gonna pay for that? Nobody. They know nobody's gonna pay for that.
No, Netflix is paying them.
Right.
Who knows how much money?
It's gonna be ridiculous because it's basically free because everybody has Netflix.
Everybody's gonna watch.
Everybody's gonna watch.
It's genius.
It's genius. It's 100% genius. But because nobody would spend $39.99 or $49.99 to watch this.
I can't believe it.
Nobody would. You know what I mean? So I think it's a travesty to boxing. I think it's a travesty. I think Jake Paul should be disgusted with himself. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Mark my words. You guys want to talk about how there's collusion in sports, and mark my words, there's going to be a clause involved in that fight.
Like some kind of weird clause?
Yeah, like pulling back your punches. And don't go in for the kill. And if you see that your guy hurt, I'm telling you right now, there's going 1,000%. There's going to be clauses in those contracts that we're never going to know about.
Yeah.
But there's no way that if Jake Paul has him on the ropes and has him hurt, he's gonna just tee off on a guy 30 years older than him. They're not going to allow it to happen.
And we're all going to watch. And Jake Paul's going to
watch.
stroke a check for $40 million, and he keeps winning the game. So, we could all talk the shit we want to talk. Kid's a marketing genius. He doesn't want to be a champ. That's just what he says.
Yeah.
I mean, he just wants to make money, and he's continuing to do it.
And all right, so the next thing, we're going to go two more things, and we're going to start. So then you got Canelo Alvarez.
He's fighting the other Charlo now, right?
So do you know why do you know how much he wants to fight Benavidez?
Yeah.
Do you know how much?
No.
Take a guess.
What do you mean? You don't want to fight him?
He's not going to fight him.
Why?
Unless it's for $200 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because this is what we've been talking about for months and months and months. He does not want to fight him. He goes, I got nothing to prove to nobody. Because they said, Tyson said you need to fight him. Malignaggi said you need to fight. He's like, I don't care what anybody says. He's like, if he wants to fight me, $200 million and I'll fight him. $200 million, dude.
I mean, Canelo's probably worth over $1 billion anyway.
But still, come on, $200 million? And this guy that he's fighting, I forget his name. Come on, $200 million.
Mayweather got it for the McGregor fight.
Yeah, but that's an A side versus an A side. You know what I mean? So then McGregor, speaking of McGregor, he's coming back.
Is it for sure?
He says that it's not finalized, but he's got the date in June. Apparently, it's going to be against Michael Chandler.
They got to fight Chandler. That was the whole thing with the tough.
So that's basically going to happen.
Good. I hope Chandler knocks him the fuck out.
And then what's your...
You're going to pick McGregor, aren't you?
No, not the way he's been. Bro, do you see his interviews?
He's lost 4 of the last 5 fights. He hasn't won a fight.
I know. Have you seen his interviews? How junkied up he looks?
Dude, yeah, there was that one of them where he looked like he was whacked out.
Yeah.
He was all wheeled up.
Bro, and he told his not their managing partner that walks around with him, PR person. He's like, no. He was like telling her to shut up. Like, dude, he's fucking whacked on coke.
He was so whacked out.
But and then the last thing is the Gary and Colby thing's heating up now.
Yeah. Gary's just not a good shit talker.
Terrible.
No, Colby's the best.
But he's got his wife. He got his wife stepping to do a video yesterday.
But I love how Colby just. I'm the star of the division. Like he just like.
But he really is, dude.
No, he really is not.
Bro, from a marketing standpoint, what guy do you know that can lose a fight like he lost, where everybody turned on him? Everybody was like, he sucks, he's this, he's washed, and all of a sudden he comes back with one video. He's the talk of the company again.
I feel like I'm watching 1980s WWF with him, dude.
I love him.
Like
dude.
he's one of those kind of guys. You know what I mean? From the WWF.
My favorite is when he says Junior. When he goes, "You're gonna cuck your ass this fight, Junior."
I love him.
So, all right. So that's it for the news. Now we got these fights that we are going to be there for. So.
Oh, I can't wait.
And the opening, we'll go with the main event.
Yeah, start right at the top. Rose, future Hall of Famer Rose Namajunas, Amanda Ribas. Rose coming in. The line came down. I mean, she was like minus 250 at one point. 230 was it? Yeah. Now it's like 218. It's coming down. I mean, we all know Rose Namajunas. You know, she's been around, former champion, staple of women's. You know, UFC. You know, one of Dana White's favorite fighters. You know, this is a great main event. You know, when it first came out, and I was like, because we didn't when I picked the card for us to go to, I was just looking for a date that worked.
They didn't have it out anyway. I think they just had the headliner.
No, they didn't even have that. No. All I saw was that the UFC reserved these 3 dates for the Apex Center, and I called right away. I said, hey, I want this date. They're like, they didn't announce the card yet. I'm like, I don't give a fuck who's fighting on that card. That's the date I want. The date of tickets come out. I want 15 tickets. Make sure you put them aside for me, because that was the date that worked for it to get our crew together. Because I know the Apex Center is not, you know, when they do the Apex Center fight,
pay-per-view worthy.
It's not pay-per-view worthy. You'll have a good main event, but it didn't matter. It was more about the experience. I mean, they're all good cards. It was more about the experience. I didn't know who it was going to be. And then they announced, and I was like, a women's fight? And I was like, wait a minute. And then the more I was like, you know, dude, we're getting to see Rose Namajunas fight. She's a Hall of Famer. This is good. And then they, you know, Ribas is a great fighter too. So I'm excited, man. I think this is a great main event. I'm psyched. I think this is going to be a really close fight, and I don't know which Rose we're going to see, you know, but I'm a Rose Namajunas fan, and I think she has the skill set. I think she's a notch above Amanda Ribas, and I'm taking Rose Namajunas here. I don't know how much longer. How old is Rose now anyway? She's been fighting for a minute.
Yeah, but she's started at a young age. She started young.
Yeah, well, every time I see her, I always think about Minority Report. You know those.
She was born in '92.
You know, so. with Tom Cruise. The movie Minority.
Of course.
And then the 3 girls that are inside the water, what would you call them? She looks just like one of those.
She does, actually.
She looks exactly like one of those girls in the water.
You know what she looks like, too? You wouldn't remember this, but you would. I feel bad for saying this.
I hope she watches. God.
So you ever see? You remember when we were kids? Those things that they used to claim that were alive, the sea monkeys.
No.
You don't remember the sea monkeys?
No.
They were like these little things, seahorses. They were called sea monkeys. You put them in, and they look like little.
No, I don't fucking remember.
Yeah,
those.
dude. She reminds me of like I don't know. Maybe she's hot when she's got hair, and then she looks like.
She never has hair.
But when she did,
long time ago,
she was hot, and then when she shaved it, she looked like the Legend of Billie Jean. Fair is fair, remember? But I don't know, dude. I don't even honestly. This is either going to be Amanda Ribas is going to make people think that Rose Namajunas is just lost it, or Rose is going to roll her. I don't see, if you get both of these girls on their best days, I don't see where Amanda Ribas beats her. Namajunas will destroy her on the feet. I think she's better on the ground. I think Ribas gets lost in translation way too much in her fights. She lost to Macy Barber. Like, in what world would Macy Barber, and I know we don't do MMA math, but in what world would Macy Barber ever beat Rose Namajunas?
And you had Rose, who beat Zhang Weili twice.
That's what I mean.
And Zhang Wei Li is like,
I mean, she lost to Manny Fior. She's a prospect.
but Fior's, she's fighting Blanchfield next. I mean, Fior's a great fucking fighter.
And then Esparza, that was probably one of the worst fights in history.
Horrible. Where they both did nothing.
They did nothing.
Yeah.
So I didn't take nothing from that fight.
So she beat Zhang Wei Li twice and then loses to Fior. Could be a future champion.
Of course, yeah. So when you look at that, you're just like, dude, the level of competition. Like I said, I've seen too many holes in Amanda Ribas' game where, like, she's tough, dude. Don't get me wrong. She's tough. She's got a good judo background. She's got good grappling. She's slick on her feet. She is getting better, but there's nowhere in this fight.
Who does she really beat?
Nobody really. She beat Pinheiro. She beat
Jandiroba.
Vivian Araujo.
Like
Jandiroba's a good win, though.
But like tough.
Yeah, tough, but not top level.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like when I look at this fight, I say if Rose comes in even 75% clocked in, Amanda Ribas don't win a round.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I got to go with Rose here. And I think she could finish her. I'm going to call finish in the 4th or 5th round.
Submission?
I don't know. I could see her putting it on her, like really putting it on her where the ref steps in, or I could see her subbing her too. I'm just going to say inside the distance, 4th or 5th round.
All right, there you go. I like it. All right, next fight on the card, dude. Billy Q. So I was in Tampa a couple weeks ago by my partner Kevin's house doing some business out there, and went out to breakfast. I'm eating breakfast. I see these two fucking guys sitting at the table right where we're at. I'm like, yo, those guys are UFC fighters. I'm like, I know those guys fight. And I was like, yo, you fight? He's like, yeah, my name's Billy Q. I'm like, Billy Q! I walk up to him. I grab my phone. I take a video. I'm like, MadLab, look who I'm with. I'm like, it's Billy Q. You know, and someone said, that's Matt Frivola right there. I'm like, oh, shit, you're Matt Frivola? And
he looked disgusted.
I was like, oh, I know you. I was like, so he was there with Matt Frivola. So I was like, so I went, Billy Q. I'm like, when are you fighting next, dude? He's like, March 23rd. I'm like, I'm fucking going there March 23rd. I can't believe it. So I'm like, who are you fighting? So he was fighting
Gabriel Miranda,
yeah. This Brazilian guy. And now last minute, they put Youssef Zalal, which makes this a very, very interesting fight.
I thought he would roll.
But Zalal got thrown out of the UFC.
Yeah,
he went back on the circuit and won a couple of fights, and now this is his first fight back in, right?
Yeah, yep.
You know, so this makes it a very different kind of fight now from what it was. And look, Zalal's plus 110 coming in on late replacement here, so he's got the respect. You know, this is a tough fight, but I mean, dude, just for the fucking pure reason alone that I got to see Billy Q a few weeks ago. I told him I'm going to be there. I told him he's going to hear all of us cheering for him. I'm going with Billy Q, and I'm going with Billy Q by knockout.
Really?
Yep. Because we're going to be there cheering him on.
I got to do the right thing, and I got to call it the way I see it. So, you know, Gabriel Miranda, man, he like, I thought I was all over Billy Q for that fight, and then I say, all right, late notice, Youssef Zalal. Yusuf Zalal is going. This is what I fear about this fight: that Yusuf Zalal is going to go on the trajectory of Dalby, where Dalby came into the UFC. He did not have a good showing his first time out. He went on the regional circuit. He fought a couple of fights, and now he comes back, and this is what he does.
Yeah.
So when you look at Yusuf Zalal when he came in, I mean, you know, he won his first 3. He beat Austin Lingo, Jordan Griffin, Peter Barrett. Then he loses to Topuria.
Yeah. By
decision. That's why you think he's going to, I mean, knock him out. Topuria couldn't even knock him out. Then Choi, he loses to. Then he loses a split decision to Woodson. Then he goes to a majority decision, which was a draw to Damon Blackshear, and then he vanishes. So all the guys, like, he fought, like,
tough guys.
They were tough guys. Dude. Yeah. They were like really, really tough guys. So when I look at Billy Q, I'm like, you know, where's Billy Q win all his fights? He's a typical guy that he loses until he wins. He drags you into the first round. He usually loses the first round, and then he weaponizes his cardio. And if you look at Billy Q's resume, every guy is a victim of that. Damon Jackson, cardio issues. Alexander Hernandez, putting it on him in the first round. Then he dies out.
Yeah, remember that. That was a great fight.
You know what I mean? So it's like all the guys he takes advantage of, they tend to have these cardio issues because he knows how to weaponize his cardio. Dude, he's been in a lot of wars. He's got that same style where he starts late, almost like a Marlon Vera. He starts very late. And Yusuf Zalal is the type of kid where he's very well-rounded. He's very intelligent. He starts early. He has no cardio issues. He's got good striking. He's good on the ground. He's good on the feet. I like Zalal here, man. I know it's on late notice, but I do. I like Zalal here. I think Zalal's going to take a lead, and he's not going to relinquish it. And that's what's going to happen. So And he's got good cardio, bro. Like he's got really good cardio.
Yeah,
so
no, I remember that.
That's what I mean. I think it's going to be a close fight. It can go either way. But if you look at he's getting his second chance in the UFC. He got the phone call. He won his last 2 fights on the regional circuit. Like, dude, he's going to come to fight. You know what I mean? So I'm going to take Zalal here. I'm going to take Zalal by decision.
All right, we're on the other side of this one. All right, next fight on the card: Cameron Saman, Peyton Talbot.
Yeah,
debuting fighter.
No. He's a UFC guy. He's got a couple fights. He's had a region. He had the Dana White Contender Series, and then he beat Nick Aguirre by rear naked choke.
All right. I don't know much about this guy. I know you were high on Saman when he came in. He did lose that fight to Rodriguez, but
everybody does.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's losing to this kid.
Yeah, I know.
He's the prospect hunter, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. He's beating all the time. He just beat another prospect the other night.
Yep. He keeps doing it.
Yeah.
But these are two prospects.
They shouldn't be fighting each other.
Yeah.
I don't like it. The two prospects.
I know the UFC is about fighting the best against the best, but you're usually they don't. This is a little too early for both of these guys.
I don't like it.
Needed a couple more fights before coming to this, but hey, it is what it is, and we get to see two good hot prospects.
This is a great fight to be at. Bro.
Yeah, it's a great fight to be at. So like I said, because I don't know much about Talbot, I like Saman, I like the way he fights. I like him. I'm picking him to win, but like I said, I don't know much.
You're picking Talbot?
No.
Saman?
Yep.
All right, yeah.
And he's a dog in this fight.
Yeah, and I could see why, though, because the one thing about Saman is he's really small for the division, bro.
Yeah, he is small.
He's got little arms, you know what I mean? So, but he makes the best at his attributes, And when you look at Peyton Talbot, this is like a perfect example of a kid who's getting so much push, bro. He almost getting pushed like Bulgarian. Like he's getting so much push. What do you think about that fight?
The Bulgarian fight? The Bulgarian Rodriguez
You think
fight?
Bulgarian won that fight?
It was very close.
I think he won the fight, but I don't think it was a robbery like people are saying.
I don't think it was a robbery.
You know what I mean?
Very close fight, though.
Yeah.
Very close
Yeah.
fight. I mean, he didn't stop with the fucking. I thought it was going to go just like the Rosas fight. Because he wouldn't stop with the takedowns, but he didn't really gas too hard, though.
But he didn't do nothing with the takedowns. That's
He didn't do nothing. No, he didn't do nothing.
He did nothing with the takedowns.
That kid's tough, man.
Who? Christian Rodriguez?
Yeah.
He's really tough, dude.
Yeah.
Really tough.
Yeah.
So with this fight, it's like I like Payne Talbot. I think he's talented, but I think people are putting the chicken before the egg. Is that the thing? Chicken before the egg?
Yeah, I think so.
Before the chicken. So that's what they're doing with this kid. It's like you're going to do it again, guys. You're going to put one of these big time prospects on a pedestal. You're going to go all in on him, and he's going to end up losing. Now, I'm not saying he's going to lose, but this is a perfect spot where I could see it happening again. Cameron Saman, dude, this is a dude who has fought some good competition. His only loss is Christian Rodriguez, and that is aging awesome. He beat Terrence Mitchell. He beat Amanda Martinez. He beat Steve Kozlow. The kid is winning fights, despite him being very small for the division. The problem I have with him in this fight, though, is he's got to be able to clear space. He's got to be able to get in on Talbot's hits. Talbot, when you do take him down, he can be taken down, but he does have an ability to pop right back up. So if this thing stays on his feet for 15 minutes, Saman's really going to have to find his way inside, which he can do because, when you're minus an attribute, you kind of learn how to dictate around it. So I do see him doing that. But this is a spot where I think everybody's on Talbot. Like, they're really high on him, and I think Saman's going to spoil the party.
That's what I would love.
You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to go Saman by split decision.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Last fight on the main card is Shabazian and AJ Dobson. Shabazian was a big-time prospect for a while.
What a shame.
Man.
I was high on him. I was really high on him.
Yeah, everybody was high on him, man, and he just never panned out to what he was. I mean, he's not like he's old. He's young. And then you got AJ Dobson, who's got the look of a fighter, but he's got this weird slow pace to him, and doesn't have the best cardio either. I mean, not that Shabazian does, but yeah, he hasn't lived up to his name. He's definitely the better fighter, than Dobson, and he's the favorite minus 205. He did win. No, he lost to Hernandez. That's right, he lost to Hernandez last time out. I'm gonna go Shabazian here. Shabazian. Since we call him for so many finishes, I'm going to go Shabazian by submission.
Look at his fucking resume, though, bro. I mean, he lost to Brunson. He lost to Hermanson. He lost to Imabov. he's losing all tough dudes.
Yeah, tough guys. Tough.
I
guys.
mean, so is Dobson. Though he's losing to Malkoon, he's losing to Petrosian. Those are tough dudes too. But
Yeah.
in fight, guys, this is the best thing I can tell you. In fights like this, especially cards like this, where there's a lot of guys that are coming up.
I remember Hermanson fight, man. He just could not get off his back, dude.
Well, that's what Hermanson does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you look at fights like this, you got to do one thing. You got to the best way to approach these fights is you have to always side with the guy that you know is the just more talented. I know sometimes the better fighter doesn't always win, but this is a situation where Shabazian, like, I saw him from an early point, and I was really high on this kid.
Everybody was.
Like, really high on this kid. I thought this kid was going to be really, really good. And I still think he has an opportunity to be really, really good, but he just hasn't been able to put it together. You know, and you look at a guy like A.J. Dobson, he's a guy that I could see, like, all right, like, does he belong under the banner? Maybe for like one contract, but he's not going to be here for a long time. You know what I mean? Where someone like Shabazian, I think, even despite losing 4 of his last 5, you know what I mean? The UFC is saying this kid is still young. You know, he's still kind of young. Let's give him one more crack at this. And if he wins, he saves, you know, he saves his face for another day. And if he loses, then they got to start having the hard conversations. Like, look, we held on to this kid long enough. Like,
yeah, you can't lose 5 out of 6.
Yeah, you can't lose 5 out of 6. But this is his swan song, man. Like, this is where he's going to have to put it all together. And I just think far and away he's the better fighter.
He's got to save his job.
He's got to save his job. I don't like the line, but then there's a part of me that loves it. Because I think, like, he has the ability to come in and really put it on A.J. Dobson. But
I think it's a little juice, though, no?
For his performances as of late, but not for what he's capable of.
Yeah, okay.
But you can't go by what he's capable of. You got to go by what he's giving you. So, yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't touch it.
Who are we wagering on? We're going to be there.
I got a couple. Under my hat right now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm psyched.
Yeah, I got a couple under my hat.
All right, cool, man.
And then we got one more.
No.
Yeah, we do. We got, yeah.
Oh, the heavyweights fights. We got,
yeah, this will cover.
Carl the Truth Williams.
Carl the Truth. Remember him?
Carl Williams and Justin Tafa. Tafa, if you remember, he was supposed to fight. I forgot who was supposed to fight.
He pulled out.
It was Di Rogerio, was it?
Yeah.
And then
was it? No. It wasn't.
It's one of those big guys.
Yeah.
To me, they're all the fucking same.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was.
And it's never his
Lima?
His brother stepped in.
Was it Lima?
It was Lima.
Yeah, Lima. And then he pulled out. His brother came in, and then his brother got fucking knocked out quick. So now Justin's healthy. He's back. He's a dog against Carl Williams. I mean, this is heavyweights.
Nothing.
You know, to me, I don't. You know, sometimes I don't even look at these lines. I say Justin Tafa wins by knockout, heavyweight knockout.
Really?
That's it. I'm going with Tafa. Yep, because we're going to be there, and I like Tafa.
So Williams, dude, I got to be honest with you. This guy is like super, super raw, bro. Like really raw. But the dude has potential to be like a good heavyweight, bro.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think so from what I've seen him so far.
He's got long rangey power. He's got explosive takedowns. He's got
Chase
good
Sherman,
wrestling.
bro. Come on.
Well, we got to give him a chance. Like, he's only been in the UFC for 3 years.
Sherman.
But here's the thing, bro. He's so raw. He's gonna make mistakes in there. Like, he's going to make mistakes, and you can't make a mistake against Tafa. Tafa's going to crack his legs. He's going to wait. You know, he's got decent takedown defense. So it's going to be up to Carl Williams. Like, Carl Williams is either going to win or lose this fight. It's not going to be the other way around. If he makes a mistake at the wrong time, Tafa's going to catch him. But
that's what I think.
From a DraftKings perspective, I will tell you this. Carl Williams can light up the fucking scoreboard because Tafa cannot get up. He's like a turtle in the shell if you take him down.
Yeah.
And if he gets him to the fucking ground, it's going to be end game right there.
Yep.
You know, so I like Carl Williams just because I think he has more paths to win, but Tafa's live for a knockout, 1,000%.
Tafa catches him.
Tafa. You're going to bring some fucking saltwater taffy and throw it at him?
I love it. All right, well, we'll be there. So if you're watching, you'll see us in the crowd. You'll definitely hear us in the crowd. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
We're going to be going nuts over there. So you guys will see all the post-fight video stuff. We're going to be spurting up some reels.
Just look for the guy getting up every 5 minutes to go to the buffet section.
All right, we'll see you next week.